Hello and welcome to the first episode of Ruby's Real Success Stories, where I'll be sharing manifesting success stories from real people in hopes of uplifting and inspiring anyone on the manifesting journey. As a tribute to my most influential manifester, the one and only Neville Goddard, I'm going to kick off this channel with a story from his book, The Law and the Promise. Please keep in mind that this story was written in the 50s, so the language and culture is a little bit different than it is today, but the methods, the message, the principles, and the results remain timeless. And if you have your own manifesting success story, I'd love to share it on the channel, so stay tuned until the end for submission details. I'm calling this story Blind Date, and if you're not familiar with Neville, I will provide a little insight and clarity into his methods after the story. So here is Blind Date. Enjoy. Last August, while on a blind date, I met the man I wanted to marry. This happens sometimes, and it happened to me. He was everything I had ever thought of as desirable in a husband. 2 days after this enchanted evening, it was necessary for me to change my place of residence because of my work. And that same week, the mutual friend who had introduced me to this man moved away from the city. I realized that the man I had met probably didn't know of my new address, and frankly, I was not sure he even knew my name. After your last lecture, I spoke to you of this situation. Although I had plenty of other dates, I could not forget this one man. Your lecture was based on revising our day, and after speaking to you, I determined to revise my day every day. Before going to sleep that night, I felt I was in a different bed, in my own home, as a married woman, and not as a single working girl sharing an apartment with 3 other girls. I twisted an imaginary wedding band on my imaginary left hand, saying over and over to myself, "This is wonderful. I really am Mrs. J.E." And I fell asleep in what was, a moment before, a waking dream. I repeated this imaginary scene for 1 month, night after night. The first week in October, he found me. On our second date, I knew my dreams were rightly placed. Your teaching tells us to live in the end of our desire until that desire becomes fact. So although I did not know how he felt toward me, I continued night after night living in the feeling of my dream realized. The results? In November, he proposed. In January, we announced our engagement, and the following May, we were married. The loveliest part of it all, however, is that I am happier than I ever dreamed possible, and I know in my heart he is too. Signed, Mrs. J.E. I hope everyone enjoyed that story, and to provide a little further context, Neville's signature method of manifesting is the imaginal act, which is to create a scene in imagination from first-person point of view that implies that your desire has already been fulfilled. So after the end has taken place, for example, you can see that this woman didn't imagine her second date or her proposal, but a scene beyond that where she was already married. Now, there are many methods and techniques in manifesting, like visualization, affirmations, mental diet, subliminals, scripting, and more that we will be exploring as the channel progresses. Now, if you have a manifesting success story of any kind that you would like to send in to be shared on the channel, I would love to hear from you. Feel free to include any details you might think would be helpful to the listeners. And no manifestation is too big or too small. So please share. You can email me at realrubysubmissions@gmail.com. And I will include that again down below. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you'll be back again soon. Best wishes, everyone.